heck is going on over here? Why on earth are these up? No, 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 no. Don't want that out, don't. Good day, lads and lasses, and welcome to the first part in a new thing I'm going to be doing. It's going to be kind of just a thing where I kind of rant or ramble about something random. It doesn't really need to have a specific topic. Might be one where I talk about Davy Jones going crazy for no reason. In this one, it's just talking about the new, well, kind of new, it's been out for a while, Netflix Resident Evil series. But I thought it'd be fun because I know a guy who's a big fan of Resident Evil, and that's the Sly and Sonic fan, a guy I played Uno with a while back.
That was the fastest game of Uno I think I've ever played.
In this video, we're just kind of having a discussion, talking about our opinions on the show. I've watched the show, and I will say that I, overall, didn't really like it. He, overall, found it enjoyable. And we had a respectable conversation about it to trying to understand each other's point of view and just kind of have talk about Resident Evil. It wasn't only about the show, I'll say, that there was some other stuff we talk about. And, oh, another quick thing I need to bring up before we get rolling. It's being split in two. The other one is unlisted, you can't see it on my channel. But at the end of this video, it'll pop up at the end and you can click on it. It's basically supposed to be one long video, but considering that I'm using Share Factory to edit, I can't make anything over an hour, and this ended up being over an hour, so that's about it.
You are a long boy.
I'm a long... Yeah, that was my surprise. I'm very long.
You went on a diet and I didn't. I didn't quit the milk and cookies.
So basically, it's already started. It's already begun.
Oh,
We got ready. We gotta get into the game. And we gotta talk about the what do we talk? The Resident Evil Netflix series.
Alright, man, so what I just wanna hear just what are your overall thoughts about it? Because I find it very interesting. I think you got a good idea what my thoughts were in the short DMs we had, but I want to hear your overarching thoughts.
So basically, overall, I don't like it. I think it was it wasn't very Resident Evil-y. It felt like I really didn't like the teenagers. I didn't like watching them go to school and crap like that. It did have parts I liked though. There were some cool parts. I liked anytime there was a monster from the games on screen, doing monster from the games on screen type stuff. Even though I think he was miscast as Wesker, Lance Reddick was probably the best actor in the show. And it carried the show, in my opinion, as far as acting goes. And that's basically my quick summarize of opinion.
Okay, sick. Alright, so the stuff I'll agree with you on is, yeah, I love the BOWs in the scenes featuring them in the show. I think that's some of the biggest highlights. No one can argue against that. That was... What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, no one can argue against that. I think I can definitely see what people mean by this doesn't feel Resident Evil-y. To me, the franchise has grown so large and has experimented so much that it encompasses a lot more than its old survival horror roots. Yeah. So I definitely, even though it may not feel traditional Resident Evil-y, I think a lot of things can qualify as Resident Evil now, as long as, it has the story ties and whatnot. Yeah, I definitely see that. The stuff that I disagree with you on, I were fans of the teenagers, Jade and Billy Wesker. I thought that they were exceptionally written characters. The school setting, I can definitely see it as being out of place for a Resident Evil narrative, but I think it fit well with the type of story this was trying to tell. And Lance Reddick, that's a whole nother thing, because it's hard to talk about with like some people who genuinely have a problem with the casting than other people who bring race into it, and that's why they have a problem with it. To me, even though he doesn't look the part, I don't necessarily find that as a necessary qualification to cast someone. As long as the performance embodies the character that they are portraying, then I couldn't care less what they look like. And I think and the thing is that Lance Reddick is playing an entirely different character than the Wesker we see in the games, which the story later explains. So yeah, I think overall, I as you guys have probably like picked up now, I'm fond of the show. I really did enjoy it.
Yeah. I will say, so basically how the story for the show is, it's supposed to be like, the games are canon in the show's universe, but the show's not canon in the game's universe, from what I've heard. Which is why they had that flashback where all the clones are in like the basement or whatever. And you see like the original Wesker.
Wait,
I'm
sorry.
Spectating.
Yeah, I'm spectating. We
Wait, we died.
Wait, we got eliminated.
What was I even saying? Oh, I will say, tell me if you agree with me on this. I've seen people saying this online. When the actual Wesker wearing like the Wesker outfit comes in, it looks like Blade.
Oh man, I'm so glad you brought that up. Okay, and here's okay. I really don't want to treat this as more of a big deal than it actually is, but I do want to say this. He does look like Blade. I will say that. But to me, Wesker has always looked like Blade. Like, at the very least, RE5 Wesker and above and other cameos, he's looked like Blade. And, like, people who are, like, making the comparisons, I definitely get that. But there are a lot of people... I'm really not trying to, like, be political about it, because this is, like, a kind of a tricky situation, like, the time period we're in. But I do feel like there's a lot of people making the Blade comparisons, and, like, kind of, like, as a stab towards the actor's ethnicity, and only like calling it Blade Wesker to separate it from the actual Wesker just because they don't like a black person playing the actual character. He does look like Blade. I do think it's funny. I do see all the Blade memes. It's funny. But it is kind of weird that people are just now making the Blade comparisons when the character has traditionally like always kind of looked like Blade. But that's just me.
That's fair. That's fair. I definitely think there'd probably be some people who are like that. You know, like stupid people.
Yeah, I'm not trying to bring politics into it, but like that is like kind of an aspect of the joke. Like you gotta like separate the people who are just generally making a funny comparison, but then the other people who, because Lance Reddick did receive a lot of hate and harassment on Twitter for a lot of people who just went down to see a black dude played Wesker. There's a lot of like hate geared towards them. So yeah, some of that is just innocent, but then some of it is also, you know, kind of like, you know, not it's meant in a mean-spirited way. So it that, you know, it's kind of the nuance of the joke.
What was your favorite episode?
Favorite episode? That's a good one. My favorite episode. So I did watch it when it came out in the 14th. So it's been a little bit, and like whenever I watch a show, all of it kind of blends together. So forgive me if I make a mistake. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure episode 4 was the episode where Billy was like, she was sure she was gonna die, right? And during that exact same episode, there was also the liquor scene where like they have to travel underground along with like the spider, like that was, I'm pretty supposed to be like a black tiger weapon. That was an episode, right?
I think the episode with the those were the same.
Yeah, okay, that's easily my favorite episode then. I really thought it was, like, the actress playing Billy did a great job. It was dark, but also really well written, just her contemplating, like, her death. And, oh, shit. And also that entire tunnel sequence of the liquors, and then eventually the giant spider, that was probably, like, one of the biggest highlights of the show to me. That entire portion was just magic. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that had to be my favorite episode.
My favorite... It's hard. Because I have the same issue with you. They kind of bled together for me. Even though I don't think I watched it as soon as it came out, but it has been about 2 weeks since I watched it. Dang. It might have to be the same. It might have to be the same as yours. Yeah. Because I really liked when the liquors showed up.
Oh my god. Yo, can we just talk about how sick that scene was, though? Because, like... My problem is that I wish there were more, like, the Lucas had more screen time because it's such an iconic RE monster.
Yeah.
But just that sequence of everyone, like, in the truck being like, okay, guys, we gotta be quiet, this Lucas round. And then the umbrella troops coming behind them, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. And then they all get out, and then the Lakers just start swarming everyone. Dude, I thought that was sick. And then, like, I think that's, like, the most, like, horror-esque moment of the show besides the Cerberus attack. Like, that was just really well executed to me.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'll say, later on in that part, where they were in the tunnel and they got attacked from the spider, at first, when they were just hearing it, and you were like, oh, I wonder what that is, I was thinking, oh, dude, what if it's the hunter?
Ooh.
Are we still
That
both
is
alive?
something we haven't seen.
We are both alive. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Alright,
I don't even know what this is, by the way. I don't even know. Like, I guess I have to hold the penguin? Oh, we have to hold a penguin. It's like penguins. We gotta hold.
Oh, penguins! I have the penguin! I have the penguin!
Coming away from them!
No, they grabbing me!
We are destroying these guys.
He keeps grabbing me. No,
There's still time for the other team to come back.
No, no, no.
Oh, yellow has it, yellow has it, yellow has it.
No, stop. Stop it.
Oh, crap. Yo, forgive me, I gotta step away for a few minutes.
You good, you good.
Yeah, hopefully you can, like, fix this in editing. I'll be back, I'm sorry. I'll be right back in a few minutes.
I'll fix this in editing. And obviously, I mean by fix this in editing, I mean I'm gonna have some talk by myself. Hello, people. And welcome
to nothing. Well, at least not from him. You're gonna hear something from me though. Before we were talking about how it'd be cool if there were hunters. That I thought it'd be cool for there to be hunters in the thing. And then we kind of talked about how we've never seen hunters in like a live action adaptation of Resident Evil. It's kind of odd. And I don't too much remember where it went after that because I'll be honest. This video was supposed to come out some time ago. It's been recorded some time ago. And you might hear me say this a lot on my channel. I'm just now getting around to doing it. It's my bad. I'm sorry. I kind of just do this as a side thing whenever I have the motivation to do it. And for this video in particular, I probably shouldn't have done that because I did it with Sly. And I'm sorry, Sly. Should have got this out at the time I told you it would be out. It's my bad. No excuses from me. But let me talk about what we're talking about now. We're talking about adaptive difficulty in video games. And the reason we're talking about adaptive difficulty in video games is Sly had not too long ago made a video about Resident Evil 4, my favorite Resident Evil game. And I will link that video in the description. Great video. I highly recommend it. It's a great overview of the game. And I love the game. He loves the game. It's one of the greatest games. Either way. I'm talking about that because in his video, one thing he didn't bring up is that it has adaptive difficulty, and that's one of my favorite things about it. And he and I talked about adaptive difficulty in video games after that. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. What we're talking about right now is adaptive difficulty in video games because it went on from us talking about hunters, I was talking about the live adaptations. He did some videos of the Resident Evil adaptations, the live adaptations. You can go to his channel for that too. His channel will be linked in the description. That's it. We're talking about freaking things and things. Hopefully, as long as I don't find out any new mistakes that I've made in this video, I won't have to come back. It's annoying. Well, not annoying. It's a bit time consuming to put all this crap on for the videos, and I do it because I care.
So yeah, I'm not a fan of adaptive difficulty that much, but I don't really notice it when I'm playing in the RE game, so it's not really an issue.
Yeah, I think another popular game that does it, you might know about, Left 4 Dead.
I actually didn't know Left 4 Dead did that.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead has... they don't call it adaptive difficulty in the game, they call it like the AI director because it determines what enemies spawn, where they spawn, when they spawn, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the way it's tuned, it's not to make it easy for you, it's to make it challenging for you, but also to like pull it back when it's been like challenging for too long. I'm dead. I'm a pretty big fan. Like, I like games that use adaptive difficulty because I think, especially if you're replaying the game, like it can, if it's done to an extreme extent, you can have like vastly different play experiences, which I think adds replay value. I don't think RE4 does it to that level, but I think overall, like, the concept of adaptive difficulty is, like, there's a lot you can do with it.
Yeah, I like it in Left 4 Dead's case, like what you described Left 4 Dead does, because what it's doing is that it's constantly keeping you engaged. Like, it's not just relying on pure RNG, it's like scripting the turn of events to the point where, like, you're receiving enough challenge, but in case it's being BS and, like, it's constantly getting you killed and, like, it's unfair, then it dials it back, and, you know, like, it's more forgiving with enemy placements. What Resident Evil does, at least from my understanding, isn't like that. It gives you a tough time and has you, like, go to the regular experience, but if you aren't, like, equipped to handle that tough time, then it just dials it back a little bit and makes it easier. And I mean, for some people that's a good thing, and I think it works for, you know, people who just want to enjoy the game. But for someone who, like me, who admittedly is not that much of a hardcore gamer, but still does enjoy, like, the satisfaction of overcoming a hard challenge, I don't know. I personally don't like it, but I didn't really die that much like while playing RE4, at least on normal mode. On professional difficulty, I got fucked up, but on normal mode, it was relatively an easy time. So, but yeah, it's just my personal opinion.
No, I don't know what we're supposed to be doing with this ball.
We're supposed to push this ball to as much snow as possible. Right now we're falling behind a little bit, so we gotta catch up. You can also screw up the other enemy's balls too. That's kind of what the red and yellow are trying to do with our ball. Yeah, the red are messing with our ball a lot.
They're messing with our balls.
Oh, they actually just helped us right there.
Oh, I think we might be...
We just gotta keep the momentum going. Red's struggling.
Yeah, they're having a hard time. That's why they're trying to mess with us. They're trying to make us have a hard time.
Yeah. The haters.
Yeah, they're haters, dude. I don't like the haters. I think
we're so close. We're so close. They're catching up, though. They're catching up.
Got this. I think we got this.
Yep. Red's trying. Just a little bit more snow.
Yes.
Let's go, baby.
Yes. We are the greatest. We're the greatest that ever grated. Alright, just so I know, it's your turn. You need to decide where the conversation goes.
Where the conversation goes. Here, I'll put it back at Resident Evil, here, I'll just put it back in the discussion of Resident Evil, adaptations in general, and what would your ideal adaptation be? Because to me, I think making a... Oh, my bad. You go ahead?
No. Finish what you were saying.
Okay, I was gonna say, to me, I think making a perfect adaptation is more harder than people realize, because the goal of making an adaptation is make it digestible for casual audiences. And I think that was what Welcome to Raccoon City's problem was. Yeah. It was trying so hard to please the fans that people who aren't familiar with the games, hardcore fans, couldn't like follow along with what was going on, and it had less of an enjoyable time. So I want to see what your ideal adaptation would be.
My ideal adaptation, say, honestly, if you, because I don't think you'd be able to make a good adaptation of Resident Evil, you'd have to understand that there's going to be people who don't want to watch it, right?
Yeah.
But I'd say just start it like how you would the first game, where it's just the mansion, the freaking stuff going on in the mansion, you know, Wesker betrays everybody, the tyrant. Basically just do the game's story, but as a film, right? Maybe cut some stuff out that's unnecessary. You might want to cut out, it's Plant 42, I think is what it's called, right? In the first game. Cut that out. Doesn't need to be in there. Just basically try your best to adapt the first game to film, and then that would probably do well. Then just kind of go through the story of the RE games. Maybe change a bit of stuff here and there to make it, you know, its own thing. Add some surprises. But overall, it's following the same beats as Resident Evil.
Yeah, I like that. My ideal adaptation of Resident Evil, and hear me out, it already exists. And and it's called Welcome to Raccoon City. And I know I just said that it doesn't do a lot to please casual audiences, and that is very true. But with the whole setup of that movie, I think it's as close as you can get to pleasing hardcore fans while simultaneously telling a original narrative of new ideas. Yeah. And if I were to make a RE adaptation, right, I would have it follow the beats of not follow the beats of the games, but to borrow heavily from the material. Like, I would obviously have the themes of genetic DNA, of human modification, of viral corporations and conspiracies, and stuff like that. I would have all those be major roles, but I have it be a all new original story that utilizes a setup from the games that isn't explored that much in the main story. Like, for example, say a corporation like Tricell. Tricell was really set up to be like the big bads of RE5, and it was forgotten about immediately, right? Yeah. I would utilize some cool ideas from the games that not a lot of people like. These fall. You don't want to. Utilize a lot of concepts from the games that the games don't have time to, have attention to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Honestly, you saying that made me change sort of what my ideal adaptation would be. Instead of it being just following the games, I'd say make it canon to the game's universe and have it be like separate things going on.
I like that. I think, and that's something cool that I think the CG...
There's no way. I'm dead.
Oh, dude, it's all up to me, man.
It's all up to you.
I think that's... Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, I think that's one thing the CG films have been doing really well. Yeah. It's been telling separate stories, and has been following what some of the characters you haven't seen have been up to since we last saw them in the timeline. That's what Infinite... Oh, that's what Infinite... I can't even... No, I'm dead! Oh my god! Oh my god!
How are you not dead?
I don't know! Bro, I'm not moving.
You bring up the animated film, the CG films. Which one of those would you... You've seen all those, right?
Yeah.
What's your ranking for them?
Ooh, a ranking, that's a good one. So I would put Degeneration at the very bottom. It's crazy because that's what everyone says is their favorites. I like Degeneration, but to me the plot is unfocused. It lacks a central antagonist, kind of. I like the conspiracies that film handles of the whole Tricell harboring samples of the G virus. I thought that was pretty cool, but overall it was kind of like a lackluster plot that did Leon's character pretty dirty. Leon was a piece of cardboard in that film. And overall the animation kind of looked wonky. It was a decent film, but there's just some tiny issues about it. After that, I put Infinite Darkness in the number 3 spot. Infinite Dark. Well, I know that's not a CG movie, but I still count it because it was supposed to be a CG movie, but they split it into multiple parts.
It was
Netflix.
Short enough. I could say you could say it was basically a film. I think each episode was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, somewhere around that. I think each episode was like 30 minutes or something. Yeah, Infinite Darkness had a lot of cool ideas and utilized Leon's and Claire's character in an effective way. To me personally, and I like the side characters as well. And yeah, I thought it had a nice revolving mystery. My only problem is it didn't really have too much to do with the games, but that's pretty much it. I thought it did Leon's character really well. Second, I'd say Vendetta. Vendetta had a lot of cool things about it. It was nice seeing Rebecca Chambers finally back. Yeah. I love the direction they finally put Leon's character of having him face mental consequences out of all the hardships he has to go through in all the games. Becoming a depressed alcoholic. Yeah.
He drinks a lot.
Yep. And I think Glenn Aries was a pretty sick villain, probably the best film antagonist we've had. And animation was phenomenal, great action sequences. And first I put Damnation. Nothing touches Damnation. It does Leon's character. It's the best we've seen Leon in anything ever in any media period. Yeah. Phenomenal animation. Great usage of combining Lost Plagueis and the liquors. I love how they utilize Lost Plagueis in a very original, effective way. Yeah. And great animation. Yeah, I'd say that's my rankings. But what about yours?
Probably be pretty similar. Damnation and Vendetta would both be number 1 and number 2 respectively. Change a bit. Honestly, Infinite Darkness, didn't like it all that much. I mean, I liked it, but I think out of all the CG films, it was probably the weakest. Like, unnecessarily broken up into a series. I don't think that was necessary. I think it actually detracted from it, and it didn't feel like there was much of a villain. I mean, you had like the senator guy. He was a senator, right? I don't remember.
Yeah.
What it was. He was kind of the villain, but he wasn't really like intimidating at all. So that'd probably be my least favorite. Then it'd probably be. It was Degeneration, right? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get their names kind of mixed up. They all have like very. I'm dead. I was paying no attention to the game.
Don't worry, I'll clutch it up, buddy.
And then, the middle one.
Oh shh. Are you talking about that? Oh wait, what were you talking? Wait, which one are you referencing?
It's only 4.
I'm dead. Yeah, there's only 4.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought there was a 5th one. Yeah. So my list is basically the same as yours, except Infinite Darkness and Degeneration are flipped.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Degeneration and Infinite Darkness, I'd say are around the same level of quality to me. It's just that Infinite Darkness has an edge on Degeneration because I like Leon and Claire's character in that series more than I did in Degeneration.
Yeah. I'd say... Alright, well, let's go from the CG films to the Anderson films.
I will give you a disclaimer. I have not seen Final Chapter. That's the only Resident Evil movie I've never seen. I was doing an Anderson binging back in 2020, and I stopped like right after Retribution.
Okay, that's perfectly fair, because I've seen it once and I never wanted to watch it again. All the Anderson films, excluding the Final Chapter... What's that ranking looking like?
Okay, so, fun fact, so me and you had a conversation a while back, and I told you then that I hated the Anderson movies.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Welcome to Raccoon City, and it was my favorite movie. Still is my favorite Resident Evil movie. I have the 4K Blu-ray Ultra HD boxing next to me. I love the film.
Yeah.
But I went back and watched these Anderson movies. I just got done watching Extinction. Dude, they're actually way better than I remember. I have much more of a soft spot for them. At least the first 3. I still remember Afterlife and Retribution being garbage, but maybe if I go back and rewatch them like I had these other ones, my opinion will change on them. But if I had to rank them all, I'd say my favorite so far would be Apocalypse. Apocalypse just has fun. That's the best way to say it. It knows it's a dumb video game movie, doesn't hide the fact, utilizes a lot of cool like locations from the game, such as Raccoon City, has Nemesis, has Jill Valentine making her appearance, who's played fantastically by Sienna Golovy.
Yeah.
All in all, great plot. The villain was kind of lame, but seeing Nemesis was amazing. And it was a nice, self-contained, dumb zombie flick that utilized the Resident Evil IP in an effective manner. I thought it was great. After that, I'd say the original 2002 film.
Yeah.
I think that's super underrated because while I love Apocalypse more than that one, I think that one is the better made movie out of all of them because it's just easily the most. It has the most tension, and it also it may not visually have a lot to do with Resident Evil, but like just the essence of Resident Evil is present to me throughout the entire film. Just people in a very unfamiliar environment, in an unfamiliar location, not knowing the horrors that awaits them, having to survive against all of these like new genetically mutated creatures. I love it. I think it's such a simple premise that works very well, and when it comes to Resident Evil. And then after that, I put Extinction in the... Oh wait, I just realized I'm making them from best to worst. Yeah, that may be confusing, guys. Sorry, I was doing it best from worst. Sorry, I didn't realize I made that specific. Yeah. Number 3, I say Extinction. Extinction has absolutely nothing to do with Resident Evil, and I don't care. I love the movie. It's a dumb zombie movie that just carries over a lot of the elements that was set up in the last 2 films. Yeah. At this point in the series, Anderson knew that he had gone well and beyond from what Resident Evil was in game form. He acknowledged that, he recognized that, and he used that to his strength, and decided to go in an all new direction of Extinction.
Just make it even though.
Yeah, even though the setup for extinction makes no sense, because I don't get how the T-virus just dries up all the lakes and rivers and results in like some sort of Mad Max like apocalypse wasteland. Still, I think it was pretty cool. And after that, I'd say it's been a while since I've seen Afterlife and Retribution, but if I had to rank them, I'd say Retribution has the edge, because from what I remember, it was a very wacky film full of a lot of new ideas, and that immediately gets like respect points to me. I love it when directors like go all out. It had Ada Wong, who I thought was casted great, was just amazing. It had Leon S. Kennedy finally, Barry Burton. It had a lot of video game characters, and that ending with like all the characters at the White House, just wow, that's just sets up a amazing sequel, which apparently what I heard was not great, even for people who did like the Anderson movie, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And after that, I put Afterlife. I remember hating Afterlife and despising it as I was watching it, because I felt like I was sitting there for 2 hours watching nothing happen. Just a bunch of characters like trapped in a building with a bunch of zombies around. I have no clue how he went from Mad Max to that. Chris Redfield being some random prisoner that the group coincidentally find was super dumb. And then that Wesker fight that's just ripped straight from the fifth game, while a cool reference. It's so funny because they lifted it from the games to have it be like, oh, look at this in movie form, that's so cool, but it looked awful in movie form. I don't know if it's like the way it was shot, the effects that was used, whatever. It looked so cringy. It was just so bad. Again, my opinion might change after my second rewatch like I did for the other films, but I remember Afterlife being despisable. And also, it makes no sense for Lost Plagueis to... I'm pretty sure from my memory, it was never explained why we had like Granados in the movie universe out of nowhere. They just kind of showed up and that was it. But yeah, that'd be what I think of all of the films. What about you?
For me, probably be... I think we had this discussion when we were doing the Uno. I said that I don't care what anybody says, my favorite is Retribution, because I really like the underground lab with the freaking multiple environments and stuff. I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a cool concept. So that one's probably my favorite, and it's the one I've rewatched the most, so that might play a bit into the bias of it. And I really like the music in it. After that, probably would have to be Apocalypse, because that one's, I'd say, like you said, simple zombie outbreak in a city, done really well. It's got Nemesis in there. It's got the stars for a moment before they all die.
Yeah.
and then Nemesis
that was
says
so
stars.
weird, by the way.
What, how they just pop up and all die?
Yeah, not only that, but like in the game, like Stars is like this very elite task force, like full of specific members. But like in the film, it was like Stars was like the entire, like the entirety of the RPD. Like every officer was Stars.
We're all stars here.
No one gets left out.
We're all special. But yeah, and then after that, another crap, I keep hitting my microphone. After that, it'd probably be the original RE. I think it was a really solid film. Good concept. I love the "you're all going to die down here" line. Me and my friends quote that every now and then. I like the freaking laser thing. I like the liquor. I kinda like the super liquor. And overall, I'd say it was a pretty decent, good start for the franchise. I like Afterlife more than Extinction. And I like Afterlife more than Extinction. I think for all the reasons you don't like Afterlife. Because it's really stupid. But I will say that I think out of all the films, maybe excluding the original and Apocalypse, I think it has the best like cohesion from the next film. I think Retribution follows Afterlife really well. It makes sense. It picks up right where it left off, which I don't think you can say for Apocalypse to Extinction, Extinction to Afterlife.
Well, I think
retribution
Apocalypse
to-
carried over from the first film really well. Like, it felt like a direct continuation. Whereas
Yeah.
Extinction just makes a full, like, comes out of nowhere.
Like, it
And then
doesn't make
Afterlife-
sense from where Apocalypse left off, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. Then my least favorite would probably be Extinction, and it's probably a bit of bias because I haven't seen it in a long time. And I remember the first time I saw it, I was a young little baby child, and the tyrant at the end scared me. He made me scared. And I think the only reason he scared me is because of that scene where he freaking does his little tentacle fingers and he stabs the guy in the mouth and the eyes.
Yeah, that was sick.
But when I was young, that I was like,
One thing that I want to talk about the Netflix series that I also think a lot of people missed is that the Netflix series secretly was a super faithful adaptation and did carry over a lot, not visually or even narratively a lot of times, but aesthetically. It had a lot of stuff from the games. Like, for example, like the whole Umbrella, like, viral corporation and, like, the conspiracies of people finding out, like, the secrets behind New Umbrella. I thought that was literally, like, was a thing that would literally happen in one of these new games. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
The whole episode where, like, they're solving puzzles that Wesker left behind for them to, like, try to find that secret bag that he has for them in case of emergencies, I thought was amazing. And another thing that people don't even give the writers credit for, the T-Virus was portrayed pretty accurately in this game, I feel like. Not when it comes to the zombies, because it doesn't make sense for the zombies to sprint, but when it comes to the creatures we see, it does exactly what the T-Virus says it does. It turns people into genetic monsters until they evolve into the liquor, and then, it obviously, like, accelerates, like, animal, like, cell growth and makes them large creatures. Like, I thought the T-Virus was handled accurately. The only thing that doesn't make sense, though, is that in this new universe, there would be way more lickers than there would be regular zombies, because lickers are the final evolved stage of the T-Virus.
Yeah.
And, with how long the apocalypse has been going on for, there would be a lot more, like, people who finally mutate into lickers than there would be zombies. But other than that tiny, like, little plot hole, I'm a huge fan. I thought it was pretty accurate, for the most part.